mi ò ní kà ní èdè ti àwọn ará ti Amẹ́ríkà màá fẹ́ fi sùúrù kà gẹ́gẹ́ bí èdè àwọn tí àwọn èèyàn tiwantiwa ní ilé for everybody to be able to understand what I'm going to read, what I'm going to speak, and digest it and process it very well. So I would like to address and to read it slowly and the way that both our mom, our dad, our friends, the younger ones and the oldest ones back home will be able to understand all what we are going to read today. Once again, we give thanks to the God Almighty and to all our fathers, our mothers back home, our brothers and sisters in home. Like I always say, Mama sọ̀rọ̀ kan fún bàbá nígbà tí mo bá wà lọ́dọ̀ bàbá. Mo sọ fún bàbá nígbà kan mo ní bàbá, ẹ̀yin máa ń pa ìtàn and everything transfer between you and Awolowo at that time. Ẹ̀yin máa ń sọ fún wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìtàn pé nǹkan báyìí lẹ́yìn àtàwolowo jọ ṣe. Nǹkan báyìí àjọṣepọ̀ bá gbẹ́jọ́ àlàní àtàwolowo. Mo ní bàbá, we today, most especially me, Prophet Ayodele Ologunloluwa, I'm going to make it clear to the whole world when time
Yoruba Nation Youth Press Conference.
So which means without event, there's no history. History will come after every one of us. No matter what you are doing, no matter whom you are today, no matter the position you occupy today, surely someone will be there before you, and someone will be there after you also. So it means that no matter what you are doing today, history will come after you. So you are making an event today, and which will totally become the history of tomorrow. So I plead to every one of us that we should try to make a good record today so that every one of people coming after us will be able to read it clearly. And the right word on our word will be able to what? To be clear to everybody as well. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you, Baba, our oracle of our time, Professor Emeritus, Professor Banji Akitoye, and all our leaders that deserve the respect and the honor today. Thank you so much. We have so many leaders, but not all of them that deserve the respect. But we give the respect and the honor to people that do for, and which is all our leaders that are standing on this struggle with all our heart. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Prophet Ayodele Ologunloluwa, the Yoruba youth leader in diaspora. I go straight to the press today's press release and the press conference, which we invited everybody to listen, digest, and underline. And right now, we know that the program is transmitting on all over, and we want everything to be recording and publish it and share it to the other people to know exactly what is going on today. Today is the April 10th, 2024. Once again, my name is Prophet Ayodele Ologunloluwa, together with my brother Omeyo, which is the youth leader back home. Thank you so much. Declaration by concerning Yoruba youth stakeholders in the peaceful exit of Yoruba nation from the failed country of Nigeria. We, the generation of concerned Yoruba youth stakeholders in the preservation and the liberation of the Yoruba people and nation, hereby issue this message to the current generation of Yoruba elders and the leaders whom God has given the privilege of speaking for the Yoruba people and nation in the affairs of Nigeria. This message is issued from the deepest depth of the Omoluabi upbringing to you, our Yoruba fathers and mothers, who by the grace of God brought our generation into the world and endow us with education and a skill that should ensure successful life for each and all of us today, the world. Our dear parents, according to the best of the reliable statistics and the estimate, age of 18 to 50 years is sliding over the 70% of the populations of all the Yoruba people at home in Nigerian and in Yoruba diaspora worldwide. Because of your parental input into our life, we, your Yoruba children and the grandchildren of this generation, age of 18 to 50 years, and the most educated people generations over the most educated generation of people in Africa. We arrive at this decision to issue this message to you because we are painfully concerned that you, our industrials and the parents, appears to the ignorance of all, uncaring about and attentive towards our condition and our perspective and suffering, which have been going on for many decades, now in the context of the countries called Nigeria. It is speak much for Yoruba notable and Yoruba spirit of the faithfulness and loyalty that you, Yoruba parents and grandparents, have constantly borne the greatest and the part of the concern for the upholding and the elevating Nigeria. Even in spite of Nigeria's determined downward and the transition in the aspect of human endeavor, it is understandable that while giving Nigeria your best service, you have also pursued your personal benefits and the profits of the corruption, raiding and the increasing chaos in Nigerian situation. What was hurt and is hurting us, your children and the grandchildren, every painfully that you never put any measurable importance upon the goods of your Yoruba people in the Yoruba nation in the people, particularly on your generation of Yoruba children and the grandchildren. Collapse of Yoruba economy and legacy in Nigerian collapse. In the outcome, you have allowed our Yoruba nation to slide down to the status of near slavery in Nigeria. You have allowed other people to degrade and even destroy our Yoruba nation heritage. And you have allowed the conditions to arise in which your own children and the grandchildren have nothing to hold in Nigeria. Hatred and without the resistance of the individual and the collectively, the qualities of Yoruba nation educational system have been destroyed. The teachings of the history of language was prohibited and our schools. The many business and the industry that are done and homeland up to the times of Nigeria independence have been made to shut down and perish. Every major aspect of our nation, as cocoa export institution, our privately created by the private and own education and healthcare delivering institutions, even the university that our nation built with great love and design to be one of the best in the world. Our radio, televisions, and the stations, even our main sport, stadium, and etc., have been taken away from us and given to Nigeria. The most of those of these have been deliberately allowed to decline and perish. Our Yoruba people's spirits and enterprises have been almost totally crushed. Our Yoruba nation's ambition and agriculture, livestock and the tree crops adventures of 1950th century have been perished. Our Okitikupa palm oil plantation and battery, once and the largest, and our Araromi Oguroba plantation, the second largest in Africa. Our project citrus plantation near Ijebu and the Lafia Canning factory that have called it its first in Ibadan have all been forced to be abandoned. Even the industries that our nation created as last as the 1970s and 1980s, such as Oluwa Glass Factory, Okitukupa, ceramic industry in Ifon, Bridge Factory in Ire Ekiti, Teza Mall at Ado Ekiti, and others, are closed down. Even our GBARA Investment Corporation, Western Region Development Corporation, with holding in the banking, real estate industries, and etc., has been forced to break down and to sell some of its assets to non-Yoruba interests. On top of all this, federal roads neglected and allowed to disintegrate and decay, and they strangulated what remained of Yoruba economy. the excess of centralization of the political power, resources control, and development management in Nigerian, portrayed in Nigerian by succeeding northern military and dictators during the years from 1984 to 1999. Destroyed the Nigerian economy through the competency of overburdening federal government and destruction of the development initiative and input at the state and local level. And the cultural public corruption so powerful and so pervasive, all the making Nigeria the world's most corrupt countries for years and years. All these economic and social disasters before our Yoruba nation have occurred in the years since 1990s. That is under the watch of those of you leading in speaking of our Yoruba nation in the affairs of Nigeria today. It is difficult for us to understand how this historic and collapse of our Yoruba nation could have happened under the parents' watch. Yes. Only a few in the young generation went to school, but this few of you are well educated, sophisticated, and defined. And your generations of educated Yoruba people was much larger and stronger than the same generation of any of Nigerian people. So, why did you record all these failures? And why did other people of this same generation and your succeed is bringing down your Yoruba generation so badly? Although today Nigeria's economies has collapsed, important leaders of the economy such as the former government of Nigeria of Northern Central Bank, still Solido, the new Minister of Finance and the coordinating ministers for the economy, Wale Edu, and others are publicized stated that Nigeria's economy had collapsed before the President Tinubu took over from the President Buhari in May 2023. The Tinubu inherited the bankrupt country, and that there's no money in running the country, that Nigeria cannot borrow more loan from running the countries since 1998, 70% of Nigeria government revenue are being expended on the service foreign debt. Therefore, the value of Nigeria currency, the naira, has plummeted and absolutely caused an inflation and is skyrocketing to 35.41%, and pushing the price of food starving and beyond the range of almost most citizens. Terrible hunger grip and the lives of the most Nigerians and most of our Yoruba people in all the religions of Nigeria, including Yoruba land. Enormous crowd and the hunger, people are protesting in the streets, crying of hunger and demanding that Nigeria be broken up. Hunger numbers of Yoruba people are swelling, and a crowd of northern Nigerians beggar in the streets of Yoruba cities and towns. Fulani menace, such worst. Why do you find so difficult to understand what the Fulani represent in Nigeria? Because of this lack of understanding, most of have been never offered a word and opinion on the Fulani war against the rest of Nigeria, including your Yoruba homeland. Since the Buhari presidency in 2015 to 2023, it is painful that many have seen and believe that the cause of the Fulani, the substitution against all the Fulani people of Nigeria is climbed and changed meaning destroyed in the Sahara bed of West Africa, and the consequence lost and the grassland in that belt, making Fulani cast to Island to veer the southward into Nigeria, middle belt, and the south side of the grassy land. Not surprisingly, because that is what you believe. Some of you suggested that the Fulani be given land everywhere in order to bring the Fulani attack to an end. But this explanation by you is parent and the properly false. The truth about what is happening concerning the Fulani in Nigeria is that the current generation of non-Fulani, including Yoruba leaders, has let the Fulani achieve so many political success in the dominance in Nigeria since 1960 that Fulani have now resolved that it is their destiny to conquer all of Nigerians and turn into the Fulani's homeland. Therefore, our parents and our grandparents, we hereby responsible affirm that which entire world fully know, namely that the Fulani who have never owned a homeland are seeking to grab land all over Nigeria with the purpose of ultimately turn Nigeria into the Fulani homeland. That the Nigerian, we have been invited and all the people of over West Central Africa to relocate to Nigeria to join the conference and they're dispersing the indigenous Nigerian people of their homeland. That's when the Fulani leader, Muhammad Buhari, was the president of Nigeria in 2015 to 2023. He officially and the publicly announced that any person living anywhere in Africa could migrate to Nigeria without any travel documents, and he ordered all the northern Nigerian border gates to be open to influx of all the Fulani. And this politics triggers a Fulani flow into Nigeria, a flow that is a continue even up to now, and the border gate. These masses of the Fulani are instantly admitted into Nigeria and given Nigerian citizenship identification and assisted to go deep into Nigeria to contribute to the Fulani seizure of land. There is no official estimate of Nigerians killed by the Fulani in the Buhari's year because of the government had no interest in such. Official estimating and many as 29,000 Yoruba people were killed in the Yoruba homeland under the Buhari. Most Yoruba farmers and abandoned farm on altogether, and traditional Yoruba agricultural economy has been destroyed. The Yoruba peoples and the confront now and requiring hearing families of the year in years to come. Sadly, very sadly, even after the President Buhari was succeeded by the President of Nigeria on May 29, 2023 by one of our own party, and when talk of the Fulani killing has not decreased. It has escalated and fearfully. In fact, under the President Tinubu, the Fulani challenge the peace and the security in Nigeria has now reached an abominable and intolerable peak. As mark of the current confidence in the Fulani challenge to security, the topmost Fulani leadership organization, Fulani Nationalized and the movement, issued two Fulani declarations of war against the rest of Nigeria on January 24 and 26. And now that President Tinubu is not their president, that if any Fulani is arrested for any act of the Fulani war, the Fulani would burn down everything in Nigeria. That the Fulani invasion will switch and the defeating and nobody would be able to help Nigeria. The Fulani leadership called on all Fulani men to take the war to all the part of Nigeria until the invaded government and the brought down. That the Fulani forces will attack Akoro and take over the seat of the government, and from there carry out the consequence of all Nigerians. Of course, all of this is high treason, but in Nigeria, the government no longer commands the strength or the political will. We treat as a crime. Not surprisingly, following the upon and declaration of the war, the Fulani immediately commenced war on most parts of Nigeria, including Yoruba land. We focus on our own Yoruba land. On January 25, the Lagos Expressway in Yoruba land, Fulani military and kidnapped a local chairman of National Political Party and lived and demand for 200 million naira for his ransom. On January 27 in Kwara State, Fulani kidnapper adopted a student from the campus of Ilorin University on the 27th in Oyo State. Fulani military man adopted a chairman of the public corporation on January 29 in Oyo State. A local chairman pastor was attacked on his farm and killed by Fulani militant man. On January 29 in Ekiti State, Fulani militant man attacked the very top of Yoruba society and cultural bite and killed 2 Yoruba Obas killed on his way. A third Oba escaped on January 30 in Ekiti State. Fulani kidnappers kidnapped 14 children schools students, and they returning home from the school in their school bus and later demanded 200 million for their ransom. On February 1 in Kwara State, Fulani militant man invaded the palace of another king Oba, killed the Oba and adopted his wife and child. The message from this Fulani Act is clear that no Yoruba person of any status should consider himself or herself safe in any part of Yoruba land. And yet, no, you very influential parents and the grandparents are not saying anything about these Fulani devastations of your own land. And at each end, talking about the restructuring, Yoruba are amending Nigerian constitutions in order to prevent Nigeria someday in the future. Historian and a pro and seriously into your generation alignment with Nigerian that it destroy your whole nation and people. And where your offspring fear that the historians finally making us and our children preaching out or even wave in the shade. Meanwhile, members of the Fulani political elite, the Sultan, Emir, former Nigerian president, state governors, former state governors, former federal ministers, legislators, and etc., are publicly and advertisely castigating President Tinubu over every official action of his and the threatening him and the immense mass of rebellion in northern and the imminent militant coup by Nigeria's army. The Fulani elite are saying, in fact, that they are there and people intend to make Nigeria ungovernable, that nothing done by Tinubu will be acceptable to them. Our dear parents and our grandparents, we are actually shocked that one of our own father, President Tinubu, has essentially surrendered to the Fulani trail by giving a directive to all the state governors on March 11 that all the state governors should give land to the Fulani in order to ensure peace. And so, we hereby disciplining and solemnly serve notice on you, our parents, that if any state governors in any part of the Yoruba homeland should take this step and give any piece of the ancestral Yoruba homeland to end Fulani, we shall responsibly and distinctly regard such action as a declaration of war by that governor on the Yoruba nation. And all of us Yoruba youth in our millions and home and the diaspora worldwide shall employ all the resources of all our disposal to make such a grant of the land to the Fulani impossible. And we shall ruthlessly destroy the political life of the said that governor. Why giving this notice to you? We also give it to all the power that uphold order in the world. The United Nations, African Union, ECOWAS, European Union, and BRICS groups that leading countries of the world. And we expect them to understand and honor such a response by us Yoruba youth. The devastations of Yoruba youth in Nigeria. Our dear parents The overwhelming masses of our Yoruba people have been suffering from more and more intensively in Nigeria since 1960. But we Yoruba youth of this generation, your children and grandchildren, have been suffering most abnormal for over 3 decades now. And because of this collapse of the Nigerian and Yoruba economy, and because of the collapse of the security in Nigeria and Yoruba land, we have been systematically forced to flee away from the homeland and the land of our belt. The homeland for which you, our parents, are giving us education, the homeland, the people there, even we were growing up as little children, we find it open to serve and glorify the beautiful someday. Some of the historic conditions of Nigeria, particularly because we cannot get employment for years and years, 10,000 of us have been fleeing abroad every year for decades. In all desperation, many of us showed and the terribly hazardous option and attempting to reach Europe by crossing the wide Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean Sea, and the new in constantly breaking, and the death of these are the perish in desert or in the sea. Those of our generation who remain or who are trapped at home are forced to live in terrified poverty. With the result of that, slip into the crime and the begging, prostitution, and other kind of degradation. We are the generation that has been exploited by the distress from all the homeland and the belt. We homeland that we love, there are now about the 9 million of us scattered into near all old countries in the world. We are the generation living with the dips and the pain that our painfully notable parents show no concern about us. Most of us would like to return home, or at least visit home from time to time. But we dare not return home or visit home because home is far too dangerous and far too normally dispositive. And indeed, in most of our families abroad, we are regularly go through an agony to become all our holders and adventurous children not to go home to their Yoruba homeland in Nigeria. And yet, the parents who brought us into this world and who made us strong by giving us education never say anything about us and never cared about us, but are always hardening and saying the preserve of Nigeria. The Yoruba have become so downtrodden in Nigeria that even our Yoruba urbans and traditional pillars are harvest of the Yoruba society and civilization. The men sitting on Yoruba throne that are nearly 200 years old. The men who were enthroned for the protections and the well-being of Yoruba people never say anything about the horrible condition of the Yoruba people in Nigeria today, but are forever hustling and for favors from Nigeria's agents of power, and forever struggling to be hard about Nigeria's restructuring and Nigerian constitution. With tears in our hearts, we most passionately inform you now, our parents, that we millions of Yoruba people in the diaspora are well and the millions like us who still remain at home totally reject that our Yoruba people should continue to live in the Nigerians whose economy and the security have collapsed. The Nigerians of injustice and crushed, poverty and insecurity. The Nigerians in which our Yoruba nation is obviously perishing. And we totally reject all the arrangements whereby our Yoruba nation will continue to be part of Nigerians in which government has manifestly lost and is systematically strained and political. We act as framing as effectually to stop massive criminal conduct and resolute criminal terrorism. We are absolutely certain that the resolution and the President Fulani terror and it is goal of the changing and the demographic of all the parts of Nigeria. We provoke a generalized war that will cause flood of the blood to flow all over Nigeria and consume millions of lives across the face of Nigeria. We believe that our politically influential parents today, with us and their children, command the strength to take our Yoruba people out of the way of this imminent catastrophe. We demand of our parents that they should change over the form and the focus of the preserving Nigeria. And we seriously and dedicatedly focus on effort on the preserving our Yoruba nation, on making our Yoruba homeland a happy land that is ready to receive our millions of exiles from abroad and to open a great door of opportunity to all our Yoruba people economy and enterprises. Because of the knowledge, adventure in the science and the technologies, in all the arts of the humanities, we completing and the faithfulness reject any further Yoruba participation in any program of restructuring of the Nigerian political and economic child or of the Nigerian constitutional amendment. Since such participation is shown and that our Yoruba nation will continue to be part of Nigeria or economy and security failure. And since we are totally sure that restructuring can never solve the Fulani agenda of ethnic cleansing and land cession, because restructuring cannot keep the Fulani out of any part of Nigeria. And restructuring can never eliminate the horrible and the destructive corruption of intensive governance that are becoming and deeply ingrained in the group of psychology of Nigeria's leadership and in all the childish political and economic systems of Nigeria. We hereby notice before all the mankind that worldwide peacefully and negotiation settlements have proven to the constructive and the progress yielded part out of the multicultural state that are distressed by the tensions of the irrecognizable and orientations values such as noun and characteristics that fail Nigerian enterprises. And accordingly, we advocate and we urge our parents to join us in advocating that the authority and the influential leaders of Nigeria should consent to the program of a peaceful discussion and negotiation by representatives of the various people of Nigeria towards a peaceful, maturely respectful and negotiations of the exit of any people from Nigeria or the dissolution of the now destructive Nigerian experiment. Thank you so much, and God bless you. My name, once again, Prophet Ayodele Ologunoluwa, the Yoruba Nation Youth Leaders Diaspora. Thanks to you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Appreciate you, God bless you. Ẹ ṣé gan ni sir. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí YouTube, á kí gbogbo yín tẹ́ fi comment sílẹ̀. Ẹ bá wa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká rí comment. Thank you, bàbá wa, Prophet Ologunoluwa. A máa rí yín bá ní agbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ọmọ dáadáa lẹ jẹ́. Ọmọ dáadáa lọ́mọ yẹn o. Ọmọ dáadáa lẹ jẹ́ fún wa o. Ọlọ́run á dá yín lágbà. Ọmọ bàbá wa ń bí ọmọ lẹ jẹ́ fún àwọn bàbá. Tẹ́bà tí ẹ ń ṣọmọ fún wa. Obìnrin náà làwa náà, àwa nìyá gbogbo ẹ̀yọ́ obìnrin bàbá ẹ má bínú gbà ọ́. Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kí ẹ jèrè wa lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Mo rí bàbá wa kan lórí ìkùn. Dádì, ṣé ní anything tẹ́ sọ lórí
They have just listened to
from our youth, we have just listened to a truly historic document. Yes, we have, this is, our youth have spoken before, but they have never spoken this deeply before. They have never spoken this powerfully before. They have put in the hands of the Yoruba people a historic document. And we need to spend time the next 1 week, 2 weeks analyzing it, what they have said there. They have said that the generation of the men and women who lead the Yoruba nation, who are the fathers and mothers and grandparents of the young men and women of Yoruba land, who brought them into this world and gave them education and therefore made them strong, have abandoned them to seek Nigeria, have abandoned their own children and grandchildren and seeking Nigeria, while their own children are languishing in poverty and fleeing disarray from their country, while many of them are going to die in the desert or in the Mediterranean Sea. Yeah, they have said, we would like to visit home. I like that sentence there. We would like to visit home occasionally. We would like to return home, but we dare not, because home has been turned into a very dangerous and ugly place. And we often go, in our families in the diaspora, we often go through the agony of begging our children, please don't go to Nigeria, because Nigeria has become dangerous and ugly. A mother told me this story. It is one of the saddest stories I've ever heard. Her son, a bright young man, wanted to travel. He told his mother he was going to Ghana. As a matter of fact, he was in a group that wanted to go and visit Yoruba land. They wanted to see their homeland. So one evening, mommy called our little son. I said, "What, Tule or Robolaji or whatever, where are you?" And he lied and said, "Mama, I am in Lagos, but I won't go more than that in Yoruba land." And Mama said, "I told you not to go to Nigeria." I said, "No, Mama, I will not go beyond Lagos." 2 nights later, the big bomb blew up in Bodija Estate in Ibadan, and this boy was there. He was one of the people killed there. I'm sure that your hearts must be beating faster after hearing such a story. The boy went to visit his grandparents, went with some friends to the home of the rich uncle of one of the friends, and died there that night. You all know the story of the young woman, the young family, the young man who brought his family, his wife and daughter and little son, and the whole family was kidnapped. And the Fulani took them into the bush and wanted to rape the little girl who was about 10 or 11. And mother said, "No, please don't rape her. Come and rape me." We are suffering extreme brutalization in Nigeria. And we need to tell our story more powerfully to the world. This document of today will become a major historic document, and will become a major document in the hearts of people who are interested in the well-being of human beings all over the world. We must put this document by these young people in the hands of the United Nations.
and in the hands of most of the governments of the world. I want to say thank you to our youth for producing a document of this quality, this magnitude. Thank you very much. You have moved our struggle forward many, many thousands of miles with this document. Thank you, Professor Ologunoluwa. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Comrade Omeyo, thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Other leaders of the youth, Mr. Amaborowo, Yago Yaju, Ọkùnrin Púpọ̀, 1010, Gbogbo Ekushel. This is unbelievable.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad that I have seen this. You've given me more energy.
Thank you, sir.
I tell you that. You have given me more energy. With this document in my hand, I will stand before kings around the world and say, this is what our young people said. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
bless.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. God bless you, sir. Màá lọ sọ́dọ̀ Mr. Fatai Ogunribido bóyá bíi 2-3 minutes. Tá bá rí anybody tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ bá wa dá sí báyìí, ẹ lè bá wa náwó sókè so that a lè máa pè é. But Mr. Fatai Ogunribido, over to you, sir.
Yes.
Engineer, ẹ bá wa unmute. Okay.
Yeah. Walking gbogbo wa. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ àwọn tó bá disrupt kánjọ kan bá wa mute àbí kan bá wa mute ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Mo kí gbogbo wa pé a kú alẹ́. Akáàsán káàárọ̀ níbikíbi tí a ti ń gbọ́ wa. Mo dúpẹ́ gidigidi lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́. Gbogbo wa náà lọ́dọ̀ torí pé okun àti agbára Ọlọ́run fún àdíwákàtí ọ̀wọ̀ láti lè bára wa pé ní ọjọ́ òní. Èmi á fẹ́ ká gbìyànjú láti sọ àwọn èdè abínibí wa. Ìdí ẹ̀ ni pé ilé ẹni ń kọ́ láti máa ń jẹ èkúté onígbogbo. Torí pé àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ míì wà tá a gbọ́dọ̀ fi ẹnu kàn. Jẹ́ pé láàárín àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ló gbọ́dọ̀ wà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun àṣírí láàárín wa. Torí pé tá a bá ní ká máa sọ àwọn èdè àjèjì, á máa tà wá síta láti máa bẹ̀rù ọkàn wa. Á dẹ̀jẹ̀ kí lè máa gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ láti mọ̀ pé ọ̀nà wo náà fẹ́ gbà láti máa fi ọgbọ́n àrékérekè láti máa fi dé wa lọ́nà. So nígbà míì jẹ́ kí ká gbìyànjú láti máa fi èdè abínibí wa pa láti ra àṣà wa àti èdè wa padà lọ́wọ́ ohun àjèjì tó ti gba ayé kan lórí wa tí ò jẹ́ ká ní tẹ̀síwájú. Ó kí wa gidigidi. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbààgbà tí ẹ wà ní olórí ní àárín àwọn ọ̀dọ́, mo kí yín ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. Mo kí bàbá wa fún oore ọ̀fẹ́ ọjọ́ òní. Bàbá wa Adébánjí àgbà yín lágbára àṣẹ Ọlọ́run kò ní bàjẹ́ o. Ibi tẹ́ ń kó wa lọ lágbára àṣẹ Ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú ayọ̀ àti àlàáfíà nínú ẹ̀mí gígùn ní àlàáfíà lè máa kó wa débẹ̀ o. Ní agbára àṣẹ Ọlọ́run, ààbò Ọlọ́run tó dájú lórí yín. Oore ọ̀fẹ́ tí Ọlọ́run fún yín tó bá wa tún ìrìnàjò ayé ètò tó bá wa rí wáyà yín láti fún yín ní ẹ̀mí gígùn àti àlàáfíà. Oore ọ̀fẹ́ kò ní fi yín sílẹ̀ nítorí pé dádì Olúwa fúnra wọn náà bá rí wáyà yín láti jẹ́ kí kìíní àtàgbà kó máa pọ̀ sí. Á dẹ̀ máa pọ̀ sí fún yín. Gbogbo yín pátápátá ni mo kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, ẹ̀yin ìyá mi. Mo dẹ̀ kí ẹ̀yin ẹlẹgbẹ́ ní world media. Nítorí pé tí nǹkan yàtọ̀ fún pé àwa ni à ń ṣe ètò yìí lónìí, tá a bá wà láyìíká tí àwa world media tí a bá ní àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ táwọn tó ta lè bá àwọn ọ̀dọ́ sọ, a jẹ́ wípé a kì í ṣe ara yín. Lóòótọ́ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa lẹ ti ṣe, àwa la lè gbé lárugẹ, ṣùgbọ́n a tún gbọ́dọ̀ tún fi oore ọ̀fẹ́ hàn pé àwa tí ẹ wá báyìí, àwa náà kópa nínú gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí. Ìyẹn ni mi ṣe máa fi oore ọ̀fẹ́ yìí láti sọ wípé mo represent àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mi ní world media láti bá àwọn ọ̀dọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ní wákàtí ọ̀wọ̀. Ẹ ṣeun gidigidi gan ni ẹ kú tẹ̀síwájú o. Èṣù níyàwó o. Ẹ̀yin bàbá mi àti ìyá mi tí ẹ náwó sókè, ẹ má fi ṣe ìbínú. Oore ọ̀fẹ́ náà fún wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí world media láti bá àwọn ọ̀dọ́ sọ̀rọ̀. Bó tẹ̀ jẹ́ pé Dr. Sabi sọ fún mi pé ìṣẹ́jú méjì péré làwọn fún mi. mọ̀ pé ìṣẹ́jú méjì yẹn ti kọjá ṣùgbọ́n àwọn àlàyé tí mo fẹ́ ṣe ó jẹ́ nǹkan pàtàkì tó yẹ káwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa tó tún pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ni wọ́n gbọ́ pé Yorùbá a fẹ́ gbòmìnira kò yẹ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nítorí pé wọ́n mọ nǹkan tí Yorùbá jẹ́ ìbájẹ́ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ yìí mọ nǹkan tí Yorùbá jẹ́ ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn pápá tàdà bá mọ̀ yìí pé ká má tẹ̀ ìpò ọmọ Nàìjíríà gan ó yẹ ká máa ní jọ má pè mí Nàìjíríà mọ́ nítorí pé ìṣọmọ Nàìjíríà nítorí pé ẹ̀tẹ́ ìyà ní ẹ̀gbin ní Nàìjíríà kó bọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá àti pàápàá ogún ọmọ Yorùbá ogún ọmọ Yorùbá ní Nàìjíríà gbó lórí tó fi jẹ́ Nàìjíríà lónìí gbogbo nǹkan tó pè Nàìjíríà lónìí more than 70% is in mental capacity in economic resources Yorùbá náà pè bẹ́ẹ̀ so àwọn àlàyé tí màá ṣe fún wa òun náà ni wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa kò yé wa tá a bá ní pé a fẹ́ gba òmìnira fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ni ìdí ẹ̀ tá a fẹ́ fi pé gba òmìnira fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣé rí òmìnira tá a fẹ́ gbà yìí ẹ̀tọ́ ni fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ̀tọ́ tó wà ní inú òfin.
ó ti mọ látọ̀nà kọ̀ọ̀kan.
ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ bá wa mute. Adémọ́lá ẹ bá wa mute mi mọ̀ bóyá bàbá wa Adémọ́lá nìyẹn bẹ̀tẹ̀ Adémọ́lá ní àdórí ẹ bá wa mute ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa mute ẹ bá wa mute wọn láti source ẹ ṣeun. Torí ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni láti gba òmìnira nítorí pé ó ti wà nínú ìwé òfin ní gbogbo àgbáyé ó dẹ̀ wà nínú gbogbo United Nations Charter gbogbo ti wà nínú òfin yẹn pé a gbọ́dọ̀ pé tí ẹ̀tọ́ tá a bá ti lè qualify fún wípé òfin tí àwọn UN dán là sílẹ̀ tá a bá ti gbé ìgbésẹ̀ ká fẹ́ gba òmìnira kò sí kankan tó gbọ́dọ̀ dá wa dúró pé ìkọ̀kọ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ kẹ ìjọ wa lẹ́sẹ̀. Number one, it is our inalienable right láti sọ wípé a fẹ́ gba òmìnira nítorí wípé ó wà nínú òfin. Number two, ṣé rí nǹkan tó so àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá papọ̀ mọ́ Nàìjíríà wọ́n ń pè ní amalgamation of 1914. Amalgamation yìí wọ́n ló máa last fún 100 years ó ti expire láti 2014 ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ẹ̀kẹta ni wípé ṣé rí nǹkan tó ń lò ní constitution Nàìjíríà lónìí fake constitution ni ìdí ẹ̀ ni wípé àwọn tí wọ́n gbé agbára ní Fúlàní lọ́wọ́ láti máa kó wa lẹ́rú àwọn ni wọ́n ń ṣe àwúrúju yẹn láti máa fún ẹ ní gbogbo nǹkan tó fi ń bá wa jà àwọn ni wọ́n kọ́ wọn ní ọgbọ́n àrékérekè tó ń lò láti fi gbogbo nǹkan tó wà ní Nàìjíríà sí abẹ́ àkóso federal government ìyẹn ni pé unitary system ó jẹ́ pé kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe tí àwọn federal government tí àwọn federal level yẹn ò bá fi àṣẹ sí kò lè ṣeé ṣe láéláé ìyẹn ni pé that is one of the conspiracies that they put together to subdue all the glory of the Yorubas. So tí Fúlàní tí ò bá tú wa sílẹ̀ nínú ìgbèkùn a lè gbéra rárá òun lè fi rí pé gbogbo federal roads tó wà Nàìjíríà kò sí kankan tí a lè ṣe láti fi ṣe kíni láti sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ tú ṣe òun lè ṣe rí pé bí Èkó ṣe ní agbára tó tán ní owó tó ní Èkó lè dá iná láti pèsè fún àwọn èèyàn nítorí pé Èkó ní agbára tó ju agbára lọ láti sọ pé wọ́n fẹ́ provide 24 hours electricity òun lè ṣe rí pé gbogbo education wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí ó padàyé tí bàbá wọn lógun lolúwa ṣe wọ́n ti bà gbogbo nǹkan jẹ́ fún wa pátápátá nítorí pé gbogbo nǹkan yìí kò kì í ṣe pé bóyá mistake pé Nàìjíríà ò dára ọkàn ò ṣe Nàìjíríà ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ létò ni pé láti pa ilẹ̀ Yorùbá run láti sọ Yorùbá di aṣálẹ̀ láti gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pápá láti sọ wọn di amúgbó láti sọ wọn di aṣẹ́wó gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń rí lónìí gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ yìí ti wá látẹ̀yìn wá nítorí pé ó tó di wípé Nàìjíríà gba independence ká gba òmìnira lolúwa ti pé ògo Yorùbá ga ní gbogbo àgbáyé gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa ń gbọ́dọ̀ bá ṣe program tí gbogbo àwọn bloggers wa máa ń ṣe láti ṣàlàyé fún wa wípé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kí èdè kan ṣe ní tẹlifíṣàn àti rédíò ṣáájú France
kò sí nǹkan tó wà ní gbogbo àwọn big nations of the world tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní fashion tiẹ̀ nígbà yẹn. Nígbà tá à ń gbọ́ nípa àwọn Elvis Presley, tá à ń gbọ́ nípa àwọn Mick Jagger, àti ní àwọn Kingston ní adé ní Nàìjíríà. Nígbà tá à ń gbọ́ nípa oríṣiríṣi àwọn comedians ní Britain bí tàti náà bàbá Sàlákì láwọn Ògúndé, gbogbo fashion ṣe Olúwa ti create wa to be the world power of the black race. Ṣùgbọ́n tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn òyìnbó yìí tí wọ́n ti rí ògo ọjọ́ iwájú Yorùbá, wọ́n fi Yorùbá sínú ìpèkùn tá a wà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Oore ọ̀fẹ́ ńlá la ní wípé ní àwọn bàbá tó ju bàbá lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ sọ gbé ìgbésẹ̀ wípé ká kúrò ní oko ẹrú. Oko ẹrú tá a wà yìí, gbogbo àwọn àlẹ́ tí wọ́n ṣe fún wa ní wípé kó tó di pé Nàìjíríà dúró pátápátá ni Olúwa ti fi ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sí orísun wípé a máa jẹ́ alágbára gbogbo àgbáyé fún gbogbo àgbáyé. Òun lẹ ṣe gbọ́ wípé between 1950 and 59 àwọn nǹkan tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ìlú tá à ń wò ní bí wọ́n pa wà ní òní. Gbogbo àwọn ìlú ìpápátá jẹ́ pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni wọ́n fi ṣe àpótí ìtìsẹ̀, òun náà fi ṣe igi lẹ́yìn ọgbà. Ó yẹ ti gbọ́ sórí rí wípé àwọn ọba Saudi Arabia, University of Ibadan tí wọ́n tún wá máa gba ìwòsàn ní ayé àtijọ́. Gbogbo wa la ti gbọ́ oríṣiríṣi àwọn nǹkan tí bàbá wa lọ́wọ́ gbèsè gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá wa ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn ológun olúwa. First Olympic status stadium, the first WNBS radio television tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ní, òun náà sọ DNTA lónìí. Níbi táwọn ará bíbá níbi tí wọ́n fẹ́ pa ilẹ̀ Yorùbá rú dé, ẹ lè gbọ́ ká máa sọ̀rọ̀ Awólọ́wọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìkan nínú àwọn ògbóǹtagì tó fẹ́ Nàìjíríà dúró lónìí, nítorí pé nígbà tí wọ́n ti ẹ̀ ṣe 40th anniversary NTA about 10 years ago ní Nàìjíríà, wọ́n dárúkọ Awólọ́wọ̀. Awólọ́wọ̀ náà gbé kalẹ̀ òun ni wọ́n sọ di NTA lónìí, òun náà sọ di rédíò Nàìjíríà lónìí. Ìyà yìí ti ń jẹ wá bọ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn pọ̀ ká máa sọ ní ọjọ́ iwájú. Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́, ìpàdé yìí bí oṣooṣù má jẹ́ kó yẹ rárá, ó fọlọ́ǹbẹ̀ yìí. Ìpàdé gbọ́dọ̀ máa lọ ní oṣooṣù torí pé gbogbo ẹ̀ ń tà máa sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí, ẹ̀yin kọ́lé ní ọ̀rọ̀ yìí o. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti kúrò láyìíká yìí lónìí, ẹ lọ sí gbogbo àwọn àgbáyé, gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ yìí, ẹ máa ṣe àlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ fún ọ wípé inú ìgbèkùn ọmọ Yorùbá wà tí a bá jáde, kò sí ní ìparun ti dẹ́bọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá, nítorí pé gbogbo èrò àwọn ọ̀tá ẹ̀ ní wípé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ojú wa délẹ̀ ká má sí mọ́. Òun lẹ ṣe rí ìgbà tó sọ wípé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe rúgà tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ariwo tá a pa kò jẹ́ kán lè ṣe. Nígbà tó láwọn ní wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe waterway bill, ìyẹn ni pé gbogbo omi tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ló fẹ́ take over. Bí ọmọ Yorùbá ọ̀rú Nàìjíríà rí láti ìgbà tí Nàìjíríà ti wà, àkọ́kọ́ tó máa jẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá rú Nàìjíríà òun ni ti Tinubu yìí. Níbẹ̀ ni ìdí ẹ̀, nítorí pé à ń gbé ìgbésẹ̀ pé ọmọ Yorùbá fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n wá wò wípé tó bá gbé Tinubu síbẹ̀ ńkọ́, á lè pa gbogbo àlátà ńlá nípa Yorùbá, gbogbo ẹ̀ tá à ń gbé pẹ̀lú wa pé á lè pa wá lẹ́nu mọ́, ká má lè ṣe mọ́. So ìwọ tó bá rò pé Tinubu ó wà ń bẹ̀ nítorí pé Yorùbá wà ń bẹ̀, wọ́n fi tàn wá jẹ nítorí pé àwọn ọgbọ́n àrékèrèkè tí wọ́n ń lò gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí àwọn ológun ló wá ṣe lálàyé bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ wípé ó gbọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n bá rí pé wọ́n ìjẹ́ kan tó máa fà mọ́ra, wọ́n kó owó fún wọn, wọ́n gbé ètò fún wọn, wọ́n kó mọ́bílíṣì fún wọn, wọ́n kọ́lọ́pàá fún wọn. Wọ́n fún wọn máa pretend pé Nàìjíríà is real, Yorùbá náà take over, but Yorùbá náà take part kí gbogbo ìjọba Nàìjíríà tó dẹ̀ rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìyẹn náà pè ní divide and rule. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó ń fún ní owó, tó ń fún ní ọrọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lónìí, wọn àtọ́ ẹsẹ̀ àwọn tó yẹ kó jẹ́ olórí wa, wọn tó lù, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n gbé agbára lé wọn lọ́wọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ojú ọ̀rọ̀ lárí. Bí ìní jẹ́ kọ́rọ̀ mi pọ̀ nítorí pé a lè sọ̀rọ̀ tán lónìí. Ẹ̀yin wọ́n tẹ̀ ń wò mí, ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣàlàyé ọ̀rọ̀ kan fún ti ìpánilólobó. Ṣé rí sẹ́nítọ̀ tá a ní lónìí, gómìnà tá a ní lónìí, gbogbo àwọn house of reps tá a ní lónìí, àtọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọba kọ̀ọ̀kan tó ń pèsè ìtàn fún ní ọdún week, àwọn ni wọ́n fi ṣe ọ̀tẹ̀rú, ẹrú ni wọ́n ń tà wá sí. Owó wa ni wọ́n ń fún wọn láti lè kí ni pé ọmọ Yorùbá ìgbẹ́ni abẹ́ wọn. Àwọn ni wọ́n ń dé dayọ̀, please meet yourself. Agbára tí wọ́n ń lò ní pé wọ́n gbé agbára lé àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan lọ́wọ́ ní àwọn Yorùbá tó dàtà wọn á lo àwọn yẹn láti jẹ́ ká máa pẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé gbogbo nǹkan tó wà fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó nọ́mà, àwọn kan náà represent wa. Gbogbo àwọn tẹ́rí ní house lónìí, more than 80% of them ló jẹ́ pé Tinubu ló fi owó rà wọ́n sí ipò àti senators àtàwọn gómìnà. Yorùbá ò nípa nínú ìjọba tó wà ń bẹ̀ yìí rárá nítorí pé pásítọ̀ ni wọ́n tó tọ́ bàbá wa ní Yorùbá ni ṣùgbọ́n kò kì í ṣe fún ìlọsíwájú àti ìtẹ̀síwájú fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nítorí pé kí ni wọ́n mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ famára láti pa Yorùbá nation agitation nǹkan tó ń lọ nìyẹn. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi ẹ lọ sọ fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ Nàìjíríà wípé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tí ẹ̀ ń tà ń gbé lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ pápá yìí tẹ wà nínú àwọn ọ̀dọ́ yìí ìgbésẹ̀ pé kí ọjọ́ iwájú yín kó má bàa parun ni ìgbésẹ̀ pé ká lè rí ògo yìí lò ní gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ rí lò níyì bí Yorùbá ṣe ní kọ́lé léyìí ẹ lọ bèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn òbí yín Yorùbá ọmọ Yorùbá tó dájú obìnrin tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ àfọ́bá wo sojú ọmọ àti ni wọ́n wá sọ àmọ́ wa di aṣẹ́wó wọ́n sọ gbogbo àwọn yòtò adé wọ́n sọ gbogbo wọn di amúgbó káàkiri ilẹ̀ Yorùbá.
Ẹ bá mi ṣí àìtò yìí ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ mi.
Àgbẹ̀dọ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kò yẹ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ rárá ìyẹn ni pé inú ìgbèkùn la wà wọ́n ti sọ wá di ẹrú àwọn gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó dẹ̀ kọ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó kọ́ Nàìjíríà jọ nǹkan pé ṣe ń wo Àbújá lónìí more than 80% owó tó gbé Àbújá dúró ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ti kó gbọ́rọ̀ yẹn lọ àti south. Ẹ wá àwọn ìgbé tá à ń gbé lónìí wọ́n wá sọ ilẹ̀ wa di aṣálẹ̀ ẹ̀yin ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire tẹ̀ ń kàwé ní ogun àgbáyé wọn àgbáyé ló mọ̀ pé ilẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá lọ pé Nàìjíríà is the most educated in the entire world. Ṣé àwọn fúlàní náà kàwé làbá Haúsá náà kàwé? Owó àti àwọn bọ́dà wa Ìgbò wọn ló rìn fáàsì wọn wá forúkọ wa pé kíni wọn forúkọ wa pé Nàìjíríà láti máa ṣe kíni láti pọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ ìgbà mọ́lẹ̀. Kí ni ìdí ẹ̀ lónìí tá a fi 80 million Yorùbás ní Brazil nìkan? Kí ni ìdí ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé more than half population of Cuba are Yorùbás? Kí ni ìdí ẹ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ní gbogbo southern coast of Africa lónìí Yorùbá láti Èkó títí tó fi dé Sierra Leone Yorùbá lóyìn láti gbogbo ìbẹ̀yẹn lẹ́ máa fi wọ́n the destruction that the white man has on Yorùbá race. Ìjà tó ń jẹmọ́ Yorùbá ó ju nǹkan tó ń pè ní ìṣọ̀kan jẹ́mọ́ olókọ̀ọ́sà àwọn jù lọ ìtẹ́rẹ́ àwọn òyìnbó kan máa sọ nípa ara Yorùbá lónìí torí pé àwọn ni wọ́n fi ìyà jẹ wá tán lọ Fúlàní àwọn náà lè gbára wa tá a bá dẹ̀ ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo àgbáyé kán lè mọ̀ wípé ẹ̀tọ́ wa ni láti gba òmìnira ká lè tún gbogbo àgbáyé ṣe fún dúdú gbogbo ẹrú náà fún wa ṣe pé àwa ni Ọlọ́run fẹ́ lò àsìkò ti tó ń sìn yín lọ́nà ṣe pé bàbá wa dìde wípé ẹ jẹ́ ká ja ìjà yìí fún ìjà ní àjàyè jáde lọ fúrúpìn kí gbogbo àgbáyé mọ̀ wípé ọmọ Yorùbá àsìkò ti tó a fẹ́ kúrò ní oko ẹrú ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ tá a máa sọ lónìí ṣùgbọ́n ìfẹ́ bọ̀ yín a sì máa sọ torí pé ó ní ìdí tí a ṣe ń ra Fúlàní tó kọ wá sílẹ̀ Yorùbá torí pé wọ́n ti kárí owó ẹ̀ wípé wọ́n fẹ́ bíríìjì Nàìjíríà dáhùn 4 years ago orí ọ̀fẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tá a ta iná ṣe wá ní sáìdì pé kàkà tó máa ní ṣe nǹkan yẹn káwọn kúkú máa lọ pẹ́ntì sáà òpó Yorùbá mọ́lẹ̀ ìdí ẹ̀ nìyẹn fẹ́ ṣe gbọ́gbẹ́ kí ló kú síbẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́ ní Tinubu ọ̀nà ìpínlẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ṣe àwa fúnra wa ìyẹn wa gbọ́dọ̀.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni Mr. Fatai. God bless you, sir.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Yeah, God bless you, sir. Ẹ ṣé gan ni Ọlọ́run ò ní pa ẹ̀lákàyè yín Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ fọgbọ́n wa pọ́gbọ́n fún gbogbo wa.
Àṣẹ ìdùnnú.
Now, bàbá 1010 àròlé 1010 ṣe wà ń bẹ̀.
Mo wà ń bẹ̀ ìyá mi mò ń gbọ́ yín loud and clear.
Ọgbọ́n sí ẹ bá àwọn tí ó náwó sókè ló kù báyìí ẹ bá wọn ìmọ̀lẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan.
Ẹ ṣeun ẹ jẹ́ kí n wò wọ́n. Ẹ jọ mú bọ́ kí ni ò ṣó mi ní.
A kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ darapọ̀ wa ò nílé lóko lẹ́yìn òdì tabari ẹni tó fẹ́ bóyá fẹ́ béèrè question lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá wa ó sì wà pẹ̀lú wa àbí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí YouTube náà tẹ́ bá fẹ́ fi ẹni bóyá fẹ́ type question yín ká bá yín ká jáde ọ bóyá